Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Alright, we are live. Perfect. Go ahead and share the stream. We haven't been live in a while, so. Alright. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in here with us at Nicholas WX. My name is, of course, Nicholas Driver, and we are covering this larger outbreak that we're expected today, where we do have an enhanced risk that stretches from southeastern Texas, that does include the Houston metro, going into Louisiana and parts of southern Arkansas, which is in a slight risk. We currently have a tornado warning for the areas of El Campo, Wharton, and Lane City. That does continue until 6:15. Bear with me real quick. Let me get a time on that warning. 2:45, 2:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time is when that warning is allowed to expire. We do have this area of rotation that is northeast of El Campo that is moving northeast towards Wharton. So if you're in Wharton, go ahead and seek shelter. You're in a tornado warning. You need to go ahead and start taking the precautions. Put as many walls and as many put as many things between you as you possibly can to keep you away from the outside world so you do not get injured. Bring a weather radio with you. Bring your phone with you, and I can stay here and help you get into that situation. I'll stay here as long as I possibly can to let you know when that warning is expired. We actually do have another area of rotation just southeast of this one, just northeast of Lane City. So if you are northeast of Lane City, this rotation is not as strong, but it was definitely pretty strong earlier. You need to go ahead and be seeking shelter as well. Again, you are in this tornado warning. This is actually heading into the Houston metro, which is a very concerning thing. This being said, you do need to start preparing for stronger storms if you are out in Houston, Texas. Looking towards the other areas, we only got one warning in effect so far, although we have had several warnings throughout the afternoon. Right now we do have rotation just south of the woodlands here. Not exactly rotation, if you will, but we do have a velocity area here that is indicating some stronger winds outside of a cell that is beginning to move in. This is a broken line currently, more of a multicellular type of system that's beginning to move into the northern Houston metro. That's going to be causing some issues, gusty winds, frequent lightning, maybe some smaller hail as well, and potentially a spin-up tornado at that. Let's see here. Bear with me as I'm trying to see if this is... Okay, so this does have a special weather statement on it. They're probably going to issue a new one here shortly, if not a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm. I don't think it's warranted for that just yet. But I do definitely believe we're going to see a special weather statement get issued for the Woodlands area here very soon. Areas north of Conroe, that's going to be the same thing for you folks out there. We do have another storm that's producing frequent lightning and gusty winds. It does appear that we could have some light to very broad rotation in that as well, but nothing too concerning on that line other than that gusty wind, which is going to be the main threat. Frequent lightning continues northwest of Shreveport, mainly east of Marshall in East Texas, or northeastern Texas, if you will. So much of these storms are under severe limits. They're strong, but under severe limits. This is our only warning that we need to keep an eye on in general. We got 17 minutes on it. I'll go ahead and read the text out for you. This is from the National Weather Service out in Houston and Galveston, Texas. A tornado warning remains in effect until 2:45 p.m. CST, or Central Daylight Time, if you will, for East Central Wharton County. This warning again is in effect until 2:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 2:17 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm was capable is capable of producing a tornado was located near El Campo, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. A second thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located in the eastern Wharton County, so that is what I was just talking to you folks about. Hazard, that's going to be a tornado that is possible. This is a radar indicated rotation, so nothing on the ground, nothing to really be panicking about for that reason. Just head into a safe place, bring your pets with you, bring your family with you, move into an interior room, put as many walls as you can between you, stay away from doors and windows, put a pillow over your head, and really stay in that interior room there. And welcome in, Lucy. Thank you, and you keep up the wonderful work as well. This dangerous storm will be near El Campo and Pierce around 2:20 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and around Wharton 2:25 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include Hungerford. Again, take cover now. Move into a basement or interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. If you can, go ahead and grab a bicycle helmet and grab a bicycle helmet and put it on top of your head. If you got anything like pillows or something, put it around your body and just try to protect your vital organs around your body as much as you can. Again, this is a radar indicated tornado warning. Nothing's yet on the ground, but we are going to definitely continue to watch this system, or this warning, if you will. And what you're looking at here, I'll go ahead and talk about our things that we're looking at. So on my left side of the screen, on the radar, if you will, we're using high-res reflectivity. This is showing us the rain inside the storms, pretty much the frequency of the rain, on how much is falling and what we are expecting over that general area. And on the right side of the screen is the high-res velocity, which shows turning winds in the upper atmosphere. As of now, the rotation has really died down, which is a very good thing, but it is definitely still there just west of Wharton, Texas. So if you are west of Wharton, Texas, mainly on 59, Highway 59, go ahead and be seeking shelter if you can. If you're out on the roads, you can take shelter towards Glen Flora or Shorell, I'm going to assume that is. I do apologize if I can't pronounce your town name right. But if you are near Glen Flora and Shorell, go ahead and be seeking shelter. Okay, they did drop that tornado warning, as the rotation is weak enough at this point where that tornado warning is not needed. So that is good news for the people around that area. Although, if you're still in Wharton and Shorell, stronger winds and frequent lightning, smaller hail is still possible. Go ahead and be staying indoors until this system or this cell moves out of your area. Let's see here, bear with me. Good news is, most of these storms are staying pretty sub-severe at the moment, but I am seeing some interesting looks on the ones north of Houston. Matter of fact, if you're near Cold Springs and on Alaska, I'm going to assume this is in southeastern Texas, go ahead and be keeping an eye on this cell. If you're somewhere around 150, Road 150 and 156, just keep an eye on this storm. Frequent lightning, gusty winds up to 30 miles per hour, and small hail is going to be likely up to 40 miles per hour, and pea-sized hail. This cell is moving at 40 miles per hour northeast. That one is going to have to be watched, because it does look like we could have some rotation, very broad rotation, just west of Cold Spring. So just a heads up there, if you're around Cold Spring, frequent lightning is definitely occurring as well. Gusty winds around the Woodlands area continues. 35 to 40 miles per hour is being seen on radar. So if you're in the Woodlands area, go ahead and be seeking shelter as well, moving indoors away from doors and windows in general. But as far as everything goes, most of our storms, again, are staying under severe. We do have a tornado watch that will continue for the next 4 hours and 26 minutes. This tornado watch is for the possibility of a few tornadoes. Some are likely to be stronger than EF2. And this tornado watch will expire around 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning, or severe thunderstorm watch, excuse me, for the next 4 hours. This one, I believe, will expire. Okay, so this one will also expire around 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Our primary threats are going to be scattered damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour, scattered large hail events to 1.5 inches in diameter, and a tornado or two that will be possible for that area. And that goes the same for the tornado watch as well. Larger hail up to 2 inches is likely, though, the farther south you go, as supercells are going to help produce the larger hail. And ahead of the threats for today, I do want to quickly talk about our upcoming system for our Day 3 outlook. Because severe weather is... Dixie is pretty much waking up, if you will. But first, we will take a look at our Day 1 outlook to kind of give you a look on what we're expecting and whatnot. There we go. Alright, so again, an enhanced risk is located near the southeastern part of Texas. I believe Houston is still in... Yes, parts of northeastern Houston, or all of Houston, is in that general area, and Lufkin. So those two larger populations are in the enhanced risk. Much of the enhanced risk is kind of over some rural parts of Texas, although there's still plenty of towns in this enhanced risk in general, or in the level 3 out of 5 risk. I'm struggling to get my words out. I do apologize there. A slight risk stretches across southeastern Texas, South Arkansas, and parts of pretty much all of northern Louisiana, and even a very tiny sliver of Oklahoma as well. That's very extreme southeastern Oklahoma. Marginal risk stretches across Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. That will include that. So we do continue to have a 10% SIG risk, or hatch risk is what we call it. And what that hatch risk means is that we could see a stronger tornado, EF2 or higher, within a 25 given point radius. And with that being said, a 10% also shows that we do have that higher tornado potential this afternoon. A lot of these storms are moving into that atmosphere now. Although we're having a lot of convection, I do believe that is helping hold off some of the stronger storms at that, because of the instability that is being held off. Let's see here. We will continue to stay live here with you as long as possible, but right now there's not much going on. I will try to find some music, play it in the background, kind of give you something to listen to as I try to look at some things and give you a broad update on everything. Let me go ahead and put my earphones on and see. Let me know how I sound in the stream as well, if anybody's watching. I'm going to try to get some background audio in, so if I do go silent, because I will likely go silent here and there, you're able to at least listen to something in the background. And if you're just now tuning in, again, we are covering a large-scale severe weather outbreak that is not currently ongoing just yet. We're pretty much in the middle of this outbreak, but there is a lot of convection from this morning that is continuing across this area. It's really helping these storms stay under severe, but we already have had one tornado warning, and we've had at least several severe thunderstorm warnings across Louisiana and Texas earlier this morning. Welcome in, Travis. And this is something that we're going to continue to watch over the evening. A couple spin-up tornadoes, damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour, and hail up to 2 inches is something that we're really keeping an eye on, if you will. The severe thunderstorm warning, so the severe thunderstorm watch and tornado watch does exist until 7 p.m. tonight. That is something that was issued earlier this morning around 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. and it is something that we're going to continue to monitor. We got 3 special weather statements. No, 4. Excuse me. We got 4 special weather statements. All of them are for gusty winds and smaller hail. But as far as I know of, no severe warnings, no tornado warnings. Although, please do stay weather aware, because a tornado warning is very possible over the next several hours as these storms continue over these areas. And I'm just really keeping an eye on much of the Houston metro, as some pop-up rotations could pop up along this line, broken line, if you will. And there's an area of, let's see, if I turn off, bear with me here. I'm trying to fix it where we're able to really see what's going on here. There we go. That's better. So these cells that is along the Houston metro, these will be something that we're really going to have to keep an eye on. They're kind of few in nature, while they got a lot of other convection around them, like this one near the Rosenberg, Sugarland, and Alief area. That one could do something in the future, although right now it's not a big concern, and it's not really producing any lightning. Matter of fact, most of these storms are not showing lightning activity as of 2:42 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Excuse me. But these storms towards Victoria and whatnot, they're in an atmosphere where they could start being able to spin a little bit. And that is, again, something that we'll have to watch for most definitely. And these will track into Lake Jackson, Bay City, Pearland, once again Houston, as the evening goes, or the afternoon and evening goes on. These sails towards, bear with me, towards Jackson, or Jasper, Woodville. Thank you, Travis. How does that sound there? Please let me know. I can't really hear my audio. Let's see. Yeah, as far as everything goes, though, a lot of severe weather is on the lower end. I'll stay here with you, as we do have that tornado watch for the next 4 hours. And it will expire sometime around 7 p.m. If not, if they decide to drop it around earlier, if you will. Perfect. Alright, so this is just coming in as well. I was not paying attention to social media, but we did actually have a tornado touchdown earlier with that tornado warning near the Houston metro. That would be near El Campo. A large cone and multi-vortex had touched down and now has since lifted. So I don't think the National Weather Service saw that quick enough, unfortunately. And but that is definitely interesting there. That tells us that we do need to be watching these cells near El Campo closely. Again, the rotation is very weak at this time. And we'll take a quick look at it real quick. So yeah, the rotation has essentially broken apart here. But there is, smaller areas that are really still rotating, like towards Needville, Texas, and Fairchild. It's kind of close between these areas. That's light rotation that's being picked up on radar here. Not very strong at all. We do still have rotation, I believe, just north of Wharton, Texas. That will continue. My mic is at a standstill. I can't turn up my mic any louder than what it is. Unfortunately. I could probably try to fix that. But I don't know if I'm able to. Let me try to listen in real quick. Bear with me. I think we'll just turn off the music for now, until things get quiet, if you will. Don't usually like saying that word in the stream, but when things are kind of quiet like now, we can turn on the music and whatnot. But for now, since it's causing some light issues with audio, I'm going to go ahead and keep it turned off. Again, as I've mentioned before, we got both the Severe Thunderstorm Watch and Tornado Watch will be allowed to expire around 7 p.m. They got 4 hours left on them. If you are in these areas, go ahead and continue to keep an eye on these cells. We do actually have a storm that had produced a tornado earlier. That was a very quick spin-up tornado. That's the words that I was looking for. It was a large cone multi-vortex, which multi-vortex means there's just multiple vortices in a tornado that is kind of carouseling around it. The good news is that has since lifted. Hopefully there was no damage caused near the El Campo area, but these cells here are my main concern. El Campo, Wharton, Needville, these cells that are around these areas are something that I'm going to continue to watch for. They're very, very weak right now. None of them are really producing any lightning or strong gusty winds, but they do have low-level rotation that is continuing in them at this time. You can follow our socials at NicholasWX on Twitter and Nicholas Driver on Facebook. As the week goes on, we do have a marginal risk for tomorrow, and by Saturday we have another enhanced risk for a potential larger event than today across Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama, or south central Alabama, if you will. And that is something that I will likely be covering on my Facebook page, as that is closer to home and something that is concerning for the people that tune into me there. So if you would like, I can actually quickly bring up my Facebook page, since we don't have anything going on just yet. Welcome in, Albert. Albert Dennis. Alright, so if you would like, later this week we are going to again be covering the potential severe weather outbreak for the Dixie, or the Deep South, it's what we call it. And I'll be covering it on my page on Facebook, Nicholas Driver. We will also be covering it on Star 9 Alabama. That is my local company. This is where I keep all my local updates and even some personal stuff on here. But I'll be shooting out weather updates later this evening. This being said, the stream probably won't last for long if the severe potential continues to stay at a standstill. I do believe what we're going to do is kind of switch the radar a little bit. If something's issued, I will be back. But a lot of the storms are staying under severe, which is great news. If you're east of the woodlands, though, continue to watch this one line that continues to move towards the Splendora and Roman Forest. Gusty winds up to 30-40 miles per hour is likely with frequent lightning. And that's just about it for that line. There's no rotation in it. We could be having a potential downburst towards Sugarland. That is something that I'll monitor, because you got reds and greens pulling away from each other, which usually can sometimes indicate a downburst in a storm. But this is such a small cell that is kind of something that's interesting looking. It could also be rotating, but right now it looks more like a downburst than anything, the way it kind of moves away from each other. So that is something we'll continue to monitor as well. We're down to 2 special weather statements, nothing too important at the moment. Although, this sail towards Newton, welcome in, Tanner's Hero. This sail towards Newton is something to watch for. Newton, Texas, that's what we're looking at here. This is beginning to move into Louisiana. If this sail is given time to continue doing what it's doing, it looks like it might be trying to develop a radar signature called a hook echo. That is something we're going to watch. But right now there is some radar indication. The radar is indicating that some smaller hail is potentially falling inside this one cell, which could warrant a special weather statement, and here soon it could warrant a severe thunderstorm warning if it continues with its strengthening. But that's just a heads up for you folks north of Newton, Texas. This cell is going to have to continue to be watched for. Small hail is possibly already currently falling up to pea size, and gusty winds potentially around 20-30 miles per hour is definitely along with the storm. Not severe warned, not a special weather statement warned, not tornado warned, but it does have some lightning, and it's just your general thunderstorm at the moment. But small hail is probably falling out of that one cell if it's making it to the ground. And again, I would like to appreciate every single one of you that is tuning in to the live stream. I do apologize for the kind of slowness on this stream. Of course, we're not dealing with a lot of severe weather at the moment, other than frequent lightning, gusty winds, and smaller hail just northeast of the Houston metro. A lot of these storms are taking their time on developing or becoming strong at all. And I do think that is because of the amount of convection that was out in front of this. It kind of did not allow, it allowed the atmosphere to really stabilize then destabilize. So we were able to get the atmosphere to plan out. But there is still a lot of cape out here, that is for sure. I'm going to actually look at our mesoscale outlooks. See how much cape we have. Why is it zoomed in so much? There we go. So we're going to quickly look at the mesoscale outlook and give us a decent view. So here's our general system right here in this area, and you can see our isobars, which is just pressure gradients within a can't think of the definition. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart here, but our isobars does kind of indicate stronger winds. The closer the isobars are, the stronger the winds are. Right now we got a system that's really pulling in, or really a trough, that's allowing us to see some of that shear move into this environment, causing for some rotation in general for some of those cells, and of course the severe weather. What I'm looking for though is the surface-based cape. And where the storms are located at right now, most of the general energy, the strongest convective available potential energy is located just southwest of Houston or over Houston with 300,000 Cape, or 3,000 Cape located across that area. The rest of Texas is seeing joules per kilogram up to 2,000, but a lot of those storms have moved east of that. The question is if we'll see any other later convection. It doesn't really look like it. So it's just very interesting seeing how these storms will evolve. But as the evening goes on, a lot of the Cape will dwell down, but the lower level jet will kick in, which is what will help our rotation. So for Huntsville Saturday, Huntsville, Alabama in general, I'm not really expecting the largest part of severe weather to impact our local area. Most of that tornado activity, which is why we have an enhanced risk, it's because we're looking at some possible single cellular storms out towards Dixie, the deep south, which is Mississippi and Louisiana. I'm trying to still get my words out. But a lot of that severe weather is expected down here towards the Mississippi area. Alabama, on the other hand, is only expecting winds, up to 60 70 miles per hour, which is still significant, but all in all, we're going to just see a marginal risk for us. Slight risk does include areas like Marion, Colbert, Franklin, those counties alongside this area here. The slight risk kind of does encroach onto our end, but the enhanced risk is not really going to be expanded into our area unless something changes. If the models are trending more severe for our part, then yes, they could expand the enhanced risk over towards Dixie Alley, or not Dixie Alley, but Alabama in general. Alright, bear with me. I'm going to take a real quick phone call to see what's going on here. And we will be right back. Alright, we are back, and with the severe weather kind of staying under severe, we're probably going to hop off the live for a little bit, and I'm actually going to work on a smaller stream that I will pull back up and put it back live that can just kind of show around the radar. I'll be sitting at the radar, moving around, and giving you a view of Texas and whatnot, and giving you what you can expect across that area. But as of right now, a lot of these storms are expected to kind of dim down for right now. I'm definitely expecting these storms to continue. We're not done with the threat, but a lot of that morning convection, in my opinion, has definitely stabilized the atmosphere by a lot. But tornadoes are still possible throughout this evening. Strong gusty winds up to 70 miles per hour, and small to larger hail is also possible. Now, the cell that I was talking about north of Newton was given a special weather statement. Yes, it was given a special weather statement that will continue for the next 15 minutes. Again, wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour, so we're likely going to see a severe thunderstorm warning with this here very soon if it continues, and penny-sized hail. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecure objects. Minor damage to vegetation and outdoor objects is still possible as well. The special weather statements down here have been expired, except for the ones towards the woodlands. I believe this one is also going to be given a severe thunderstorm warning at some point later this evening, or afternoon, if you will. As wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour and pea size will continue. This is a radar indicated special weather statement. Gusty winds, same thing with this one. Gusty winds, and it could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecure objects. Go ahead and be moving indoors if you're out and around this area. But we do actually have some storms that just grabbed my attention here. We have some storms in the Houston metro that they have a hook echo signature on the radar, and we have areas of light rotation with these as well. Really light rotation. So, this being said, with those storms looking like they are, I think we're going to stay live, because those storms could go tornado warned in the future, and that is something that needs to be monitored. So if you're out towards Kingwood, Humble, Atascota, or Scotia, I'm going to assume, and if you're just south of Humble, go ahead and kind of be keeping an eye on these storms as they move through the North Houston metro. These storms just south of Houston, the Houston metro, continue to produce some lightning, heavy rain, gusty winds, and small hail. Light rotation also continues in the cells to the south. Excuse me. But none of these are special weather statement warned or anything like that. But if you are in Houston, these storms cells really need to be monitored. And if you're still watching us here on YouTube, we are covering a potential severe outbreak for today. While nothing is really blown up just yet, it is something that we're staying live for, as a lot of those areas, little areas of rotation, could become something bigger here within the next couple of minutes to a couple of hours, given time for the storms to really attach to the environment. So if you are around the Houston metro, go ahead and be seeking shelter, or not seeking shelter, but go ahead and be grabbing your weather radio and trying to find a place where you can jump into a shelter if need to be. I will keep you weather updated and aware if a warning is issued. But as of now, much of us is staying pretty calm across the area. And for the people that are asking for northern Alabama, I will say that the northern Alabama area, yes, we are expected to see some stronger storms for Saturday, and a slight risk is still possible for west of I-65 if you're familiar with Alabama in general. I'm trying to pull up our risk, so bear with me. So here's our risk for Saturday. That would be the 28th. There we go. And we do have an enhanced risk that does include Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, central Mississippi, if you will, and parts of very extreme west central Alabama. This enhanced risk is really going to be tornado driven, as the models have been picking up or hinting on a potential severe weather outbreak or tornado outbreak. While it is still a little too far to know what exactly we're going to see with that tornado potential, I believe the biggest threat is going to be large hail and gusty damaging winds. Gusty damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour and hail up to 2 inches is going to be possible later this weekend on Saturday, as another system will come behind our current system and really bring a deep trough that will kind of bring in some moisture, some warm temperatures to the area, and that will prepare us for another severe weather outbreak or potential severe weather for the Deep South. Bear with me as I try to pull up the models. For the Deep South. Alright. So we are looking at the GFS model, the recent 12Z models that just came out. So this is our first system that's continuing to go through. This is before the 28th. Actually, this is our main system right here. So around the 28th and the 29th, we could see a nocturnal weather event for the Saturday evening going into early Sunday morning. This being said, if we do have tornadoes, you do need to have ways to get warnings. Go ahead and kind of have a preparedness plan just in case we do get that, in case it does verify. Goodness. Good morning, I guess. But many of us are going to really climb into the lower 70s if you're just towards South Mississippi, and the rest of us will be in the mid to upper 60s. That'll bring a warm atmosphere, very warm areas for the storms to kind of attach to. Humidity is going to be out in the 60s as well, or dew points. Dew points will be in the 60s, the lower 60s, allowing for an amazing atmosphere for those storms. I haven't looked at the newest models. And generally, I think looking at the NAM would be the smartest idea. Not necessarily, but I've heard some people talk about the NAM over the past couple of hours. So that first system will move in, bringing us rain showers Friday, maybe a couple scattered thunderstorms across the area. And then our second system moves through Saturday and Sunday. And as you can see, the NAM is really trying to agree on multiple supercells out ahead of the line, or of the system, if you will. And if this does occur, while it would be very messy and mixed layer, we will see larger hail, gustier winds, and severe, a couple spin-up tornadoes at that. Some supercells are going to be likely more towards the Mississippi area. So down here as you're crossing the Mississippi River. Alright, so back on our storms out towards Houston, we got this little area of rotation. I actually did give it a special weather statement, but this is rotating just slightly, just south of Hunters Creek Village. Just a heads up for you folks out there. If you are north of Hunters Creek Village, go ahead and kind of be keeping an eye on this. Have ways of getting warnings just in case a tornado warning is issued. This is going to be west of the Houston, downtown Houston, if you will. Gusty winds continues south of North Cleveland and west of Plum Grove Frequent lightning also continues. A special weather statement has been issued for the areas of Manny, Louisiana. We're getting into a less populated area. This storm is thankfully not rotating, but hail is still falling with it. Up to 40-mile-per-hour winds and half-inch in size hail is possible. Honestly, surprised me that we're not seeing a severe thunderstorm warning just yet with that, but I guess we'll let that be. Yes, this sail towards Hunter's Creek Village is really going to have to be monitored. That one's rotating a decent bit at the moment. Really, honestly, a lot of our sails have been rotating, but even lightning activity has picked up near the area here just a tad. So you're probably hearing some loud thunder boomers near Houston, Texas. Bear with me here. We did, yeah, this was a storm earlier. We had a tornado again that was on the ground south of Wharton, Texas. This was earlier warned for, it was radar indicated, tornado warned. Those reports have since been lifted, and no tornado is possible over those areas. But get this, we are really watching for areas of rotation in and around the Houston metro. We have a new area of interest here, which has been special weather statement warned, just south of Manville and Arcola, Texas. This is another little supercell that could be rotating at this time. It is actually slightly rotating. Gusty winds up to 30 miles per hour and smaller hail is currently ongoing. Houston, if you're in Houston, got another storm that is slightly rotating, and both of these storms are not tornado warned. They're special weather statement warned, but they're not producing anything but stronger winds. Another storm just south of Thompson's is lightly rotating as well. Pretty much all of these storms are rotating, if you will, but our main threat right now is the gusty, damaging winds and frequent lightning, smaller hail, and of course heavy rainfall. But we are getting traffic cam views. I'm actually going to try to change up the camera real quick. See if I can find the traffic cams for Texas, or downtown Houston anyway. Because we do have a supercell that's pretty much moving right over top of Houston. And now I'm not saying this to scare you, I just want you to be prepared. But go ahead and start kind of being prepared just in case something is issued for close to downtown Houston. Alright, so what I'm actually going to do, I just thought about this, what I'm actually going to do is end the stream for 1 second. If a warning is issued, you can expect us to be back, but I'm going to work on building a radar stream, so if something is issued, we can switch right back over to covering this live, but in the meantime, we can have radar running and covering this area. So I'll be right back. Again, if something issued, you can expect us to be live once again, but all in all, severe weather is staying on the low end. Tornado threat is not over with yet. If you are in Houston, go ahead and be keeping an eye out for the supercell north of Houston, moving northeast around 25 to 30, 35 miles per hour, with 40 mile per hour wind gusts and smaller hail and frequent lightning. Alright, we will see you here in just a minute.